Welcome back. We've had a fascinating response tonight, some extraordinary leads on some of the cases and frankly rather disappointing on 3 or 4 of them. Tonight there have probably been more calls to local incident rooms by a large measure than here to the studio. Let's bring you up to date. Sue.
Well, let's start with photocall and David Hatcher. David, we needed to find an armed robber at a building society in Guildford and we showed a picture on security camera of a man who might be able to help.
That's right, yes. We've had 3 calls, all giving different names. Hopefully one of them matches our Guildford knife raider.
Any news on Colin Tier?
Only a couple of promising calls there, and they're being checked out now, Sue.
And there was a man wanted a connection with several robberies. We showed the picture of a man in a London bank.
Yes, our bearded robber. 10 calls, 5 have given names, 1 has given an address as well, a number of possible sightings. Unfortunately, at the moment, again, none of those tie together either, so hopefully one of them will be right.
Then there was a man police wanted to trace because he might be able to help with frauds at banks with stolen checkbooks and
yes,
passports.
All I can say there is we've had some very promising information. 5 callers have given the same name, and I'm quite optimistic.
Right. What about the woman who was captured on security camera in Merseyside? She might be able to help with a robbery inquiry.
Yes, now you'd think somebody would recognise her. We've only had 1 call with a possible identification, and we're doing further work on that tomorrow. If you still think you know who she is, please still call us.
And Philip Neville?
Yes, 15 calls there. A number of the calls have given information which support what the officers already know, but they've also given us some new leads as well, so they all look promising. Now, in connection with Mr Neville, we mentioned 2 vehicles. One was a Fiat Strada Cabriolet, B195SNG. Now, that car is still outstanding and we would like to trace it, but we also mentioned a white Peugeot 205. We can now discount that car. That is in legitimate hands, so forget the Peugeot.
Finally, police in Guildford were looking for a building society robbery across 3 counties.
Yes, and we've had 3 calls, coincidentally. A couple of sightings in East London and 1 caller asking to see the picture again, so there it is.
Right, Nick.
Thank you.
Well, the strongest result we've had tonight is on the case we call the Lancashire attacker. We asked for your help to find a man who over the past 5 or 6 years has committed a series of assaults on women around the north of England. One of those attacks took place in September 1985 as a young woman was walking home along Kittlingbourne Brow in Higher Walton in Lancashire.
What are you doing?
The most important appeal was to trace the man's car. Now, in the earlier attacks, he drove a blue Ford Cortina. He put a false registration plate on it, NMP 209T, which he changed next year in 1986. He changed to a silver Ford Granada then and changed the suffix T so that there was a registration number NMP 209Y. Now, first, has either of those cars been traced?
The cars haven't been traced as yet, but we've had a large number of sightings of both vehicles throughout the northwest.
I gather you've had a tremendous number of calls.
Indeed, over 150 calls received to date, the majority to the incident room in Lancashire. And I would say to any viewer who's having difficulty getting through, please be patient and please keep trying.
We've just had 1 call just as I was coming across here, which looks very promising indeed, from someone who thinks he can identify the man. What sort of information have you been getting?
We've been getting very good information. We've been given a large number of names and addresses, and we're pursuing several promising lines of inquiry.
OK, the man's fairly distinctive. His picture is there. If you recognise him, the lines are still open. Please call us. Sue.
Well, next we described the last day 23-year-old Lawrence Winstanley was seen alive. That was Sunday, October the 2nd, 1988. Lawrence was a dedicated car mechanic and he'd been working on the day he disappeared. He was last seen leaving his regular pub, the Windsor in Warrington, that Sunday evening. And it wasn't until nearly a year later, when the hot summer weather had reduced the level of a nearby reservoir, that Lawrence's body was found. And a missing persons inquiry then became a murder investigation. And Detective Superintendent Trevor Wilkinson's in charge of that investigation. What sort of calls have you been having this evening?
We've had quite a good response tonight, Sue. Particularly we've had some calls from some females and some males giving us both motive and names for the offenders, and one man in particular said that he actually witnessed the body being disposed of. Unfortunately, these were anonymous at this time.
So far that sounds quite promising, but did you have any news on the car which was taken to the Shepherd's scrapyard in Millroom that October the 4th?
No, we've had no calls on the car at all, and we're still looking for anybody who saw the car at that stage. It is in a crucial part of the inquiry. Whoever abandoned that car knows who murdered Lawrence.
What about the pickaxe head? People have asked us to show that again.
Yeah, we've had a call from one man to see the pickaxe again. He reckons it might have been stolen from his premises.
There it is. And finally, you wanted to remind people that this is a very serious crime.
Yeah, this is a very brutal sort of killing. A man has been taken away, savagely beaten, shot through the head and burnt. His body's been disposed of in a reservoir. The people who've rung us tonight are obviously frightened. Probably justifiably, they think, but we can protect them, we can safeguard them. I ask them to come to us, to trust us. We will treat everything they say in confidence, and we will definitely protect them, I can guarantee that.
Right. And the incident room, I know, is going to be open all night at Halifax, so we'll be showing that number on the screen after the programme. Nick?
Yes.
Well, now to the extraordinary car chase in which robbers waylaid some jewellers not far from Warrington in Cheshire. It happened on a Wednesday night, 22nd November, on Longbutt Lane, approaching Lymm.
Somebody seems to be following us.
Any idea who it is?
No.
They pushed the car they were chasing off the road, stole jewellery, roughed up the occupants. What's been the response to the appeal?
It was a very slow response to start with, very disappointing. However, just as we came onto the air, we did receive information regarding the whereabouts of the Astra during the time it's from being stolen up until the robbery. We are looking into that closely. 3 men were in fact seen leaving the vehicle in a position and going away in a blue car.
Let's just have a look at the outfits that we've got of 2 of the attackers, but I gather one caller rang in under some stress.
Yes, one caller, and that person will know who I'm referring to, called to say where the car was and where the people were that had left it there. I would like that person to contact me at Warrington Police Station, ask for any officer in the case or me personally.
OK, Sue.
Well, finally, with our incident case results, David Hatcher again. First of all, there was the case in Plymouth Town Centre of a young woman who was raped.
Yeah, she was a young girl of 15, Sue. We've been overwhelmed at Plymouth with calls, and they've had to divert callers off to other Plymouth stations to try and handle all the calls. If you have called and you haven't got through, please do keep trying. Our lines are going to be open here until midnight, but of course Plymouth Police will be in operation all night, as indeed is every police station in the land. We've had a number of suggestions as to the identity of the attacker, but we do still need to trace that family that we think the attacker spoke to. That's a middle-aged couple with a young girl and a young boy with them. It was a dreadful attack, and we need all the help we can get, so please do still keep calling.
Now, we've had several calls on the child's body inquiry, but any useful information in those calls?
Yes, first of all, we've had some callers who helped us on this towel. We're now pretty sure that this is a prison towel, and we think now that it may have been from Wymott Prison in Lancashire. That's still yet to be thoroughly confirmed, but we want to know where that towel's come from. Do you know anybody who's had a towel from Wymott Prison? If so, please get in touch with us. This again is a very tragic case. Also, if you can help, if you know of a disappearance of a year to a year and a half old boy, please call.
Right. You were looking for 3 men in connection with a jewellery raid in the City of London.
Yes, 20 calls there, Sue. 2 in connection with that Jaguar bag that they used to take the jewellery away in. We've had a call about the Irishman, the white attacker who was involved there, and also another possible Irish connection. But we've also had calls about people selling Rolex watches.
And the bogus vicar?
Yes, we've had several calls on him too. Possible link to other offences from a PC, 1 name, 1 sighting, and now 2 calls suggesting that he may be linked to a hospital in Wolverhampton.
David, thank you.
And that's it for now. We'll have further progress reports on Daytime Live just after midday tomorrow. We'll see you with our next edition of Crimewatch UK, we hope, on Thursday, February the 15th. Till then, don't have nightmares, do sleep well. Good night.